Hello, everyone. Welcome to Money Map. Trust you had a good day. Today, I just felt that we should quickly look at certain events in the financial market. So I came across new this news article about the fall in the yield of treasury bills to minus 0.9%. So if you are investing in treasury bills in Nigeria right now, you are going to be earning negative returns, meaning that instead of earning interest, you are actually going to be paying back interest to someone because it's now negative. This happened because the central bank felt that if they reduce the interest on treasury bills, banks who are the one who normally trade in it, they will be forced to lend money to the business people that really needs it. So before now, so what banks do is that when they collect money from you and I, now in our savings account, instead of them to lend to people, if they lend to business people will start their own activity, employ more people, it will reduce unemployment, it will patronize other businesses and the effect what the economists call multiplier effect, mean that everybody will benefit as the money moves from one person to the other. But instead of that, banks have found a way to just jeje buy treasury bills. They don't take any risk because if you buy treasury bills are issued by the federal government. So federal government is your debtor and they will not default. So you are not taking any risk. Banks will not have to deal with any issue of bad debt. So it's very convenient for them and it's cheap profit. So it was because of this that the central bank now felt okay, the economy is struggling, that how can they help the economy? Let's crash the rates on treasury bills. So because of that, banks now have to really look at how to lend money to people who really need the money. So there are many banks now are lending to hospitals. In the healthcare society, of course, we know about COVID and the various initiatives of the government to address the pandemic. They are lending to agriculture. We know our prices. People say that our onions is now gold in Nigeria. So a lot of money is going to agriculture, to our local rice production, to fish farming and things like that. All because the banks who usually make easy profit from treasury bills, they don't have that opportunity anymore. So because of this, investors have to put their money somewhere. So many people have actually abandoned treasury bills and they now invest in the stock market. And that's why, if you have been following, you will see that there have been a serious upsurge in the prices of stocks in Nigeria for since about March after the corona lockdown. But it gets to a new height in November and it's been skyrocketing all the while. So I just said, okay, let's look at what has happened. On the high level, what has happened on the stock markets since first trading day of November, which was actually November 2nd, till date. So you will see every time you are listening to stock news, you probably must have heard when they talk about all shares index. So all share index is like a theoretical price that represent all the stocks listed on an exchange or a particular number of stocks. Okay, so for our own situation on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, now there are about 130 stocks. So that price is a price that shows how they all move, how their prices change every day. So instead of having to list all the stocks and say this one should just say all share index went up by 2%, meaning that on the average, the stock price rose by 2%. So if you look at that all share price index on the November 2nd, which I said that's the first trading day of this month, it was 3479.39. That was the price. That was the figure then. As at the close of the trading today, it has grown to like 34643.65. So the market has grown by 13%, apparently about 13% from the beginning of this month till date. That's just in less than 3 weeks now. To really put this in perspective, I want to just take us through a little bit more details than the high level. Oh, the all share index went up by so and so percent. Let's just go and let's have an idea of what's happening. So to break down things a little bit, and like I said, the all share index will be referring to all the stocks on Nigeria Stock Exchange. Here we have a chart of of the stocks and how they fared since the beginning of the month. So we just look at some parameters. Um, if we look at, you have this, these are listed stocks. Let's look at something like month to date return. So the profit they have generated from the beginning of this month till date, that is as at the close of business today, you will see, and we have ranked them, you will see livestock. Livestock has done 85%. Transcorp have done 73%, 61%, 54%, and so forth and so on. You look, see, some have done 14. So now this is the point. So the way we look at stocks when it comes to Nigeria Stock Exchange is that you don't have to be trading every day. Though many people will not agree with you on that, because some people believe they have to go to the market every day. Don't forget, certain businesses require you to trade every day. They have to earn commission from your trade. But that's not how we look at stock investment in Money Map. We look at, if even before now, the so-called treasury bills that everybody buys, if treasury bill was paying 12%, 13% per annum, that means, and I know that I can come to the stock market and get 80% in 1 or 2 weeks, then with that understanding, I can afford to stay not doing anything, just be looking at my cash for months, just waiting for the right opportunity, because I actually need just like 10 trading days to make 100%. So and that tells you that, so sometimes the way we do it at Money Map is like we just watch. We don't have to be participate every day. We know the parameters we have to look out for. We know things we have to look about specific companies, about the economy as a whole, about the financial markets. And so you can see 85%, just, I mean, November 2nd to date is just about just about 14 trading days, actually 40, and you can see some stocks have done 50%. So now a note of warning here. So yes, we have seen these fantastic returns, but some returns are actually as a result of something very positive. So there's something that investors saw that they made them to go into some of them, and that's why you have seen the prices appreciate by so much. There's another set of stock on this list too, that because they know, oh, people are now emotional. But what happens that when the market is like, everybody, let's buy stock, let's buy stock. So there are some of the stocks that you should not be touching, but people will not know. Most people will not know. You should not be touching them. But because some stocks are doing well, everybody jumps to any stock, and they may still do well for a while until something goes wrong, and what you get, oh, the stock market is bad, the stock market is this. But there are things that we need to really look at when it comes to the stock market. So this is the month to day return, but out of this list, there are some that are, justifiable, where the returns are quite justifiable. Let me also talk about average daily price change. So on daily basis, the profit, the percentage profit that some of them make from that beginning of the month. So if we sort this by the largest to the smallest, you will see Dangote Sugar every blessed day this month is that's rating 4%, Unity Bank, Transcorp some 3%, and so on. So the question is how? Why are some stock behaving that way? Is it truly is it dependent upon change in fortunes of the company, or is it some people, or do we have some people playing games with the stock? So you need to, so those are the things that we consider in Money Map. I also want to briefly talk about month to date values. So since the beginning of the month, the total transactions have taken place on each stock. So we can also still rank this. We can also still rank this from the largest to the smallest. And what do you see? You see that 23 billion naira has gone into Zenith Bank, followed by Guarantee Trust, followed by First Bank in the third place, Access Bank followed, Dangote Cement. And so now, what does this tell you? That these big amounts shows that what we call institutional investors. There's a clear difference between institutional investors and retail investors. So retail investors is when you are buying, let me buy 5,000 shares today, let me buy 10,000 today, which is very okay, because you also sometimes you need time to build your stock portfolio. But the institutional investors, they are big people mostly managing other people's money, like all the pension fund administrator. And now I was talking about the fall in the yield on treasury bills. So one of the reasons the stock market is going up is that the pension fund administrator, they need to earn returns, good returns on the pension fund, because people get retired every day, and they have to be paying them their pension emolument every month. So they need to put the money where it can generate profit. So they have to come to the stock market. So that's why you see these billions here, because some of them are coming from institutional investors like pension fund, and some other mutual funds at the same time. So now this tells you that the institutional investors, there are certain things about them. One, they usually have more information than you and I. You understand? So if some of us, we don't even we only get to know certain things when it's published on the by maybe their annual report on the newspaper. But the institutional investors, because they are close to many of the companies, they usually get to know certain things. And so what they are doing is an indication of what they may know, things that are not publicly known, which is actually not ethical. There are rules against that. But the truth is that theory is one thing, the reality is another thing. If I'm buying billions worth of your company, you probably let me know certain things that the rest of the public will not know. So for those of us who don't have direct access to MDs and chairmen of this and that company, we can follow what decisional investors are doing, right? So you see that the topmost stock in terms of the value volume of transaction is Zenith Bank. It tells us something. There's a reason for that. Same with GT Bank that closely follow, FBN, WAPCO, and the rest of them. We can also look at the number of trades. So from the beginning of the month today, number of times people have traded this particular stock. Okay, so let's see. I think Zenith C leads that. So you can also see Zenith list. So more and more people are interested in Zenith Bank, followed by GT Bank. And you can also look at the average value. So anytime somebody is buying Zenith Bank, on the average, how much worth do they buy? That also has a meaning. So on the average, when people are buying the stock that people buy most at on the average per trade is Stanbic, not Zenith this time around. So anytime somebody wants to buy Stanbic, they buy an average of like 4.7 million naira worth. Then followed by Airtel, Boa Cement. So this means they all mean different things to us as analysts. You see, so the top ones. So you see Zenith Bank there. You see Flour Mill. You see Access, Waco, First Bank. Uh, First Bank and the rest. Yeah. So when you look at this one, um, so now what does the number of trade tell us, or average value per trade? Average value per trade, that on the average, when people are trading, how much are they putting in each of these stock? Now, if the volume that's going into a stock is not so big, it means that it takes a few people to change the price of that stock. Very few. So those stocks, they can grow fast. For instance, let's look at Dangote Sugar. Dangote Sugar has done 61% this month alone, just 61%, and the average value for each trade is 1 million, compared to a Stanbic that has an average of 4 million. Now, there's a reason Stanbic, what's it called, Dangote Sugar has recovered this like this. But the average value per trade also shows you the depth of that stock, the liquidity, how easy you can sell. So if you have a stock, for instance, that, let me scroll down, that the average sales, let's say WAPIC 51,000 naira or 51,900 per trade. When you now buy this same WAPIC and you want to sell, it may suggest to you that you may have challenges in selling it. That means it's not easy to sell. So that's why people go for those stocks that have high volume, because it means that it's liquid. Many more people are interested in it. And when another thing is that when many more people are interested, the price doesn't just go down like that, because so many people have to decide that, okay, you know what, let me sell at a reduced price. So when you have much more diversified customer shareholders base for a stock, it doesn't grow very fast. It grows. There are opportunities in the stock market, and there's a way to play it whereby you will always win. There's a reason Zenith Bank money people are putting money in Zenith Bank. There's a reason they are putting in Stanbic and Boa Cement. So for this reason, we have a community, money map investment community, where we can now break down, into specifics. So if you want to join the community, you will get your trade signals, why we tell you this is what we are buying, and it's also a good learning platform to you, for you to know how to do it by yourself. So one of the plans for the community is that over a year period, you will have learned how to do your analysis, how to select, because every day when things come up, we will discuss what happened and how you should guide, how you should protect your investment, or how you should position yourself for opportunities. So the community is a learning community and also an investment community, because you invest as you learn. So you will see the description of this community, how to subscribe. You will see on the description of this video. If you like this video, please subscribe, share, also comment. If you have feedback, question, do not hesitate. You can comment or you can send us an email. Thank you very much.